Suzuki Alto. Unscrews. Gold Star silencer, made in England. The one that came on the bike is, I believe, a Hitchcock's as well, but it's not the same as this. It's more of a bottle shape, and I've wanted one of these for a long time. So here we are. My first job now is to remove the old one. There you can see the bottle shape and the clamp at the front. I have to remove this bracket, and it's fitted to the bolt underneath the toolbox or air filter box, and it'll come off complete with the silencer down here. And I have two clamps, or rather two bolts on the clamps at the front. Now at first they look like Allen bolts but neither a 4 or a 5mm. One is too small and one is too large, but I've found that my Torx 30 will undo those. So that's the next thing I'm going to do, undo those, and the bolts at the back holding the bracket, the one on the front, this one here is a 12mm and the one on the back is a 13. So that's my next job, is to remove that silencer. Now the new exhaust, rather than use the nut and bolt at the back, bolts to the pillion footrest. So for that I need a 17mm spanner. So I'm just going to remove that. This bracket, which on the end of the box states that it needs to be fitted to the pillion rest mount, it's pretty obvious that's not going to fit there because the silencer is too far that way. So what I've found is there's another little mount under here which it fits, and I just had a quick line up and it looks like that is where it's going to be mounted. So I'm going to go ahead and fit the silencer, but beforehand I'm going to fit this bracket to the back of the silencer. So the nut and bolt that's used for fitting it to here, there's a square nut which slides up underneath. I'm just going to use some of it to poke it through. And then you've got the washer, and I'm going to fit that in through into the nut. I'm not going to tighten it up fully yet because I'm probably going to find I'm going to need to adjust it. I'm going to slide it round there, just sort of out of the way for the minute. That just saves me having to try and find the nut while it's blind behind. So I put the silencer bracket, slide it on, and I have that underneath. I have already just shortened this bolt by maybe just over 1/4 of an inch because I found it was almost touching the bottom of the brake lever even before I tightened it up when I was just trial fitting. So I've cut that down a little bit. I'm just going to slide that over there. I'm not going to use any paste on the exhaust. I haven't got any, that's why. If it leaks I can always fit some afterwards. I've already fitted the baffle into the end. That just pushes in, and it's two 11mm spanners just to tighten them up, and I've nipped that up, so it just saves having to do it while it's all on the bike. So here we go. I've got the bracket in place. I'm just going to push that over there gently, slide it on. Yep, okay. Now this bracket here slides backwards and forwards on the exhaust bracket. So I'm just going to move it all into place, pull that up into place. Lovely. And what I've got here, I've got a nut bolt and a washer, but I think because it's a threaded bolt, a threaded socket, rather than actually I think because there's no nut on the other end, although I've got a little spring washer on there, I'm just going to put a dab of Loctite blue on there, just to be on the safe side. There we are. I'm just going to feed that into there. And I just want to make sure everything is all in place before I actually do the final tighten, because I don't want to strain any joints. I think the first one I'm going to do is this 13mm bolt on the back of the exhaust, just so as I get the exhaust itself lined up. That way it doesn't need to be rotated or putting any strain on the bracket. Okay, that's that nice and tight. And then I'll do this one next, the one that I've just put the Loctite on. The actual threaded section there is probably about, that it bolts into, is probably about 1 inch long. And the bolt, actually I can just feel the back of it, so it's just over about 1.25 inches. Just going to tighten, just make sure my fingers are out of the way in case it slips. Okay, seems to be okay. Next bit is to tighten up the bottom bolt up there, and that is a 10mm, so I'm just going to put that over the end there, just nip it up. Yeah, just going to move that out just a little bit, because that's just touching the back of the brake lever again. I say everything seems to fit together okay, it's just that there are little bits and pieces sometimes you find which just need a little bit of tweaking. I'm not going to heave on that too tightly. It's better, it's not touching it now. The exhaust actually runs very, very close to the brake lever. I could actually adjust that down by adjusting that bolt in there, which I might do later, but I'll see how it goes first. So that all seems nice and solid. So I've now just got to fit the chrome finishing plate to cover that up. Now again, on a quick trial fitting of this, it's very difficult to try and get this to cover that and the actual parts of the fittings on the Jubilee clip not to hit the brake lever. So the one this end, the back end, I've already looped through and I've got it coming through from the bottom up over the top. And the other one, I actually need to fit it that way round, so as that is the other side of the brake lever, so as it doesn't actually clash with the brake lever and you have to screw it, tighten it up from the back. So I'm just going to push that down and round like so. Make it a bit fiddly this, because there are 2 slots there for the Jubilee clip to go through, so you've got to sort of feed it in and round. Unfortunately I can't really film this very well because it's all sort of hidden. I'm going to poke that round the back there, and that just follows the shape. It goes in the bottom slot, comes out the top one. There you go, and you can just sort of move it where you want it. It's probably just more fiddly than anything, it's not difficult. Just feed that down into there. And I just need to find my Phillips screwdriver, which I always seem to lose when I'm doing these little jobs. Seems to be a common thing, this. I put down a spanner, never seem to be able to find it again, even though I've only just been using it. I've heard it's not just me. Okay, that's just started the thread going in there. I'm just going to do the same with this one under here. Once I've got it started, I can then actually just adjust it around where I want it. But this chrome finisher actually does look much better than just having the actual bolt itself. Move that around a little bit to get it in the right place. As I said, if you get the back one okay, it doesn't touch the brake lever then. So I'm just going to nip this up at the bottom. Doesn't matter, I've got the bolt for the bracket so I'm not worried about that. Pop that up. I'll just get the final tighten on there. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. That's it. All done. Tightened, 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 tightened. I'm just going to put the pillion footrest back on now, which actually, to be honest, I didn't actually need to take off, although it said that from the instruction book that it did. So I'm just going to refit that, and as I said before, it's a 17mm bolt, or nut rather. So it's a, push that in. Sure I have it lined up where I want it. And there we are. Yeah, I'm going to be needing to adjust that brake pedal down just a little bit, but that's not a difficult thing. So there we go, all done, all nice and tight everywhere. Just need to fire it up and have a listen now. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in another video sometime. Bye!